We have new details tonight about the shooting in Edmonton this week that left a police officer dead. Officials have confirmed the body found in the basement of the burned-down home is that of Norman Raddatz, the shooter. He died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was already dead by the time fire had engulfed the home. Raddatz began shooting when officers came to his home on Monday night. His house began to burn a short time later. We're also learning more about the hate crime investigation that brought police to Raddatz's door. CBC has spoken with the man who complained to police that Raddatz was harassing his family. Janice Johnson joins me with the details now. Now, Janice, we knew that Raddatz was the subject of a hate crime investigation, but what has the alleged victim told you?
Well, Nancy, I did have the chance to speak with that victim earlier today, and at his request, we are not naming him or identifying him. That's because he is still afraid for his safety and his family's safety. However, what's interesting is we found out that he was actually friends with Norman Raddatz for a long time. He said longer than he can remember, and that friendship was going along very well. The two of them even went camping together, and Mr. Raddatz was a refrigeration contractor. This man actually used Mr. Raddatz on the job. He hired him to perform some contracting work. So this was an established relationship that changed, well, about 2.5 years ago, the day that Raddatz found out that his longtime friend was Jewish.
Incredible. So then I guess it progresses, we're told, to harassment and threats, and the police are called in, and now this man, the alleged victim of this, sees what happens this week when the police try to arrest Mr. Raddatz. How's he reacting to all the events this week?
You know, he's still really in shock. He can't believe that it came to this. He knew that Raddatz was in a downward spiral. He said he knew that he had lost his home, his family, his children. He had health problems. He was drinking a lot and obviously was very angry, as we saw on this man's Facebook page, on Raddatz's Facebook page. However, he never thought that it would get so far. So he's really shell-shocked, much like the rest of the people in Edmonton still are.
Incredible story. Thanks so much for speaking with us about it, Janice.
You're welcome.
A bizarre Facebook profile linked to Norman Raddatz is also revealing more about him. The CBC's Marian Warnica has those details.
Dino Stomper is the strange alias for killer Norman Raddatz's Facebook page, and it's filled with hate for Jewish people, gay people, and the government. He calls police officers pigs and refers to gay men as, quote, gross and sodomites. He also complained about bylaw tickets and fines delivered to his home and ranted about the government, the type of language used by people who subscribe to the Free Men on the Land movement. That group claims they have freed themselves from an overbearing government. In the U.S., the FBI considers the group a domestic terror threat. In Canada, a couple of years ago, the Law Society of BC estimated there were as many as 30,000 so-called free men here. Now, police came to Norman Raddatz's house Monday to arrest him for anti-Semitic hate crimes. Instead, he opened fire through the closed door of his home, which was in foreclosure. Now, that scenario is eerily similar to the one he describes in another Facebook post where he complains about the United States, calling it a police profit state. In the U.S., he said, a family who loses their house to foreclosure is evicted at gunpoint by a SWAT team. And perhaps most chilling are his comments about bylaw tickets sent to his home. Quote, another ticket I'm not obligated to pay, he wrote. They will have to drag me to court by force. Marian Warnica, CBC News, Edmonton.